Mwai Kibaki became a full cabinet minister on May 3, 1966, when he was appointed Minister for Commerce and Industry. He would 3 years later be appointed to serve his nation as a Minister for Finance. During his tenure at the National Treasury, Mwai Kibaki guided the country through a global economic turndown and managed to steady the fortunes of a relatively young economy to safe shores. Given Kibaki's notable exploits in the arena of leadership, former World Bank President Robert McNamara described him as one of the greatest economic brains to have emerged from Africa. Kibaki's former lecturer at Makerere, Professor Kenneth Ingham, believed that Kibaki had stayed long enough in academia. He would have ended up as a president of the World Bank. A rising star. Upon the demise of the founding father of the nation, President Jomo Kenyatta, in 1978, Kibaki became President Daniel Arap Moi's vice president. Kibaki's star was clearly on a climbing trajectory. While at the Ministry of Finance and later as vice president, Kibaki's adeptness, guided by his economic and fiscal outlook, transformed Kenya's economy. During that period, Kenya benefited from a commodities boom, propelled by monetary policies that led to consistent economic growth. Mwai Kibaki represented his people for 50 years, effectively becoming one of the longest-serving MPs in the Commonwealth. That, though, does not mean he did not have antagonists and detractors. His unyielding resolve to succeed and conspicuous political charm handed him serial victory at the ballot. In 1988, Mwai Kibaki was moved from the twin docket of Vice President and Minister for Home Affairs to the Ministry of Health. He took this unseemly turn of events in his stride. Neither did he cause a stir nor turn into a rebel. In fact, Kibaki went on to tattoo an indelible mark in the ministry when he momentarily waived cost-sharing measures imposed on healthcare service delivery by donors. The 1980s were uncertain times for politicians. The ruling party, KANU, had tightened its grip on dissenting political voices than ever before. Through this difficult stretch, Kibaki maintained an aura of calmness and decency. Opposition leader. In December 1991, Mwai Kibaki announced his resignation from government and formed the Democratic Party, DP. He thus started a new political journey. When Kibaki lost the presidential election in 1992, coming third after the late President Daniel Arap Moi and Kenneth Matiba, he found himself in unfamiliar territory, the opposition. For a man who had been in government all his political life and vice president for a decade, this presented a new opportunity to serve Kenyans. He even brought a fresh wit and humor to the House, and later in his presidency by treating the public to many memorable light moments, usually in Swahili. Kibaki's political triumph finally came in 2002, when the National Rainbow Coalition, NARC, picked him as its preferred presidential candidate. He got more than 65% of the vote. On the 30th of December 2002, Kibaki was sworn in as the third president of the Republic of Kenya on a wheelchair, having survived a near-fatal accident while on the campaign trail hardly a month earlier. He served as the head of state and government until 9th April 2013, when his successor, President Uhuru Kenyatta, ascended to the presidency. Inking history, the indelible mark. No doubt a leading figure in Kenya's post-independence history, Mwai Kibaki won countless hearts of Kenyans. He has many admirers right across the globe, fondly referred to in several quarters as the gentleman of Kenyan politics. Kibaki will be remembered as an insightful and eloquent debater with a unique sense of humor. After Kenya dumped the single-party system in the early 1990s, Kibaki became a leading light in nurturing a political culture of vibrant multi-party democracy. The ruling party was kept on its toes, with Kibaki on the wheel as leader of the official opposition. His role in shaping multi-party democracy is etched in Kenya's history. Once Kibaki became president, his government introduced critical reforms in the education sector, foremost of which was the globally acclaimed free primary education program. His administration also instituted comprehensive infrastructure developments in the transport and energy sectors. Access to better healthcare took a new turn during Kibaki's tenure. Kibaki will be remembered for championing the promotion of policies that promoted economic and social empowerment, democracy, the rule of law, and respect for human rights. At the regional level, Kibaki was at the forefront in supporting the objectives of the East African Community Common Market of Trade liberalization for the citizens of the partner states of the East African Community. His commitment and conviction in matters of economic empowerment went beyond Kenya. Perhaps one of the most memorable achievements of the Kibaki era is the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution that ushered in a new dispensation whose far-reaching effects have redefined how Kenya is governed today. For 2 decades, Kenya had expressed their wish to change the constitution the country had inherited at the dawn of independence in 1963. It had been an elusive goal. At Kibaki's first attempt, it did not fly. It was his second attempt in his second term that it was finally realized. During its promulgation in August 2010, Kibaki termed the achievement the boldest step the Kenyan people have taken towards changing their lives. Kenya's 2010 Constitution is definitely a huge part of the Mwai Kibaki legacy. In retrospect, Mwai Kibaki's servant leader credentials offer seminal lessons on how best to negotiate a more rewarding future through prosperity. Kenya is today more desirable in numerous ways courtesy of the solid foundation built by an exemplary icon who no doubt loved his motherland. Fare thee well. In victory, he was gracious and magnanimous, and a magnanimous winner who brought unity. When he lost, he accepted the outcome with dignity and strove to come back better. He showed us how setbacks can strengthen the value us, the value of patience, and the power of never losing sight of one's goals. None of his disappointments could compare with one of life's greatest tragedies, the loss of his dear wife, Mama Lucy Kibaki, 6 years and 4 days ago. If there can be any consolation as we bid farewell to Mwai Kibaki, it is that he has been reunited with the love of his life, as well as with his departed parents and siblings. Mwai Kibaki knew how to be a true and loyal friend. He honored and nurtured his many friendships. He taught us what it means to protect one's family as a husband, father, and grandfather, as well as what it means to be leader of formidable accomplishment. We honor and rejoice in the lifelong companionship he enjoyed with his now departed wife, Her Excellency Mrs. Lucy Kibaki, and his love for his immediate and extended family. Our earnest prayer is that the Almighty God will be kind to Judy Wanjiku, Jimmy Kibaki, David Kagai, and Tony Githenji and their families. In the outpouring of sympathy and adoration that followed Kibaki's demise on April 22, 2022, it became clear that Mwai Kibaki had an impact on his country and the world at large in a unique manner. His ingenuity in matters of economic management, his deep love for his country and dedication to its transformation, and his defining character as the gentleman who stood tall above all the muck of politics became the common chorus of the millions of people who mourned this outstanding son of Kenya and the world. Fare thee well, Your Excellency, and may your soul rest in eternal peace.
Allow me to make an unusual request. Kindly, would we be upstanding after the eulogy of this great statesman? And kindly, can we applaud him so that we can usher him in this way into heaven, and all of us have a participation in the eulogy. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Tashukuru sana kwenye nyote kwa kumpa pongezi na kumsindikiza kwa hayo tumesikia maisha yake. We will only do a few tributes